understand that.
Demon realm and offered to bring, or asked to bring somebody to the demon realm with him to help solve the problem of finding Dende, and a favor from the king of the third demon realm, who we have not met yet. And so because his ship only can hold a small amount of people, it's Goku, Kaioshin, the Supreme Kai, and Glorio. They're the only ones going for now. In the meantime, Bulma, Vegeta, Piccolo are going to remain on Earth until Bulma finishes fixing the Supreme Kai ship, and then they will join them in the quest. So, first and foremost, the formatting of this episode is sort of back to the traditional anime standard, meaning we had the intro with the music and everything, the opening, then a small recap, then the episode title. So now the formatting is much more like other Dragon Ball shows and other anime overall. Now it feels kind of back to normal, the way things should be. So I'm not sure if we're going to get any more of those like longer special episodes like episode 1, maybe at the end, but I'm not sure on that. So I guess right now we're going to keep it the way it is. So this episode called Daima is basically about Goku, Shin, and Glorio actually entering the demon realm. Now in this episode, it focuses 100% on their story. They don't cut back to Earth. We don't see Bulma working on anything. We're just focusing on the journey to get to the Daimakai, which is the great demon realm. Before I go into like the nitty gritty of this episode, I want to say that first of all, if you are a fan of Star Wars, and I don't mean the current iteration of Star Wars under Disney, I mean the original George Lucas Star Wars, the original trilogy, specifically the very first one from 1977, A New Hope, you will love this episode, because let me tell you, there is a lot of Star Wars in this episode and in this show overall. Toriyama loves Star Wars. In fact, I don't know if you guys saw the video I did about Toriyama's life that I put out on his birthday a few weeks after he passed away. But in that video, I talked about how his first big break came doing a Star Wars parody, because he loves Star Wars. There is a lot of Star Wars in this episode. I mean a ton from the original movie. As well as, I'm going to say this, I think Glorio is going to end up being a fan favorite character when things are said and done. I don't know where the story's going to go with him. We talked a little bit last week about how maybe he's secretly a villain. He might have some secret plans, but this dude is awesome, and I really am enjoying his character so far. He's very much like Han Solo, not just in the fact that he dresses like Han Solo and has a blaster, but he's a bit more quiet, a bit more mysterious. He's a pilot like Han Solo. So there's no question that Toriyama definitely drew inspiration from Star Wars for this episode. So I think if you like Star Wars, and if you sort of like the exploration aspect of Dragon Ball, you'll like this, because this episode really focused on getting to the demon realm and then trying to quickly explore and see what you can find. Lots of JRPG vibes. A lot of the music, like with the first couple of episodes, sound like very much like JRPG music. If you watch Dragon Quest Die or played any of the Dragon Quest games, you guys know how much I love Dragon Quest. This had the very, very similar vibes. You have to understand something about Daima, and I want to get this out. People are calling it GT 2.0 and stuff like that, and there's truth to that, but not entirely. The way that Daima is sort of structured is there's a little bit of original Dragon Ball, which is exploration and trying to find things, right? Then there's Dragon Ball Z, which is when we start getting the Super Saiyan forms, which is coming. The Super Saiyan transformations are coming. We saw them in the trailer. Goku has to, sort of recalibrate his body, because it's different now. The weight distribution is different. So once he figures that out, we'll get the Super Saiyan forms. And then there is obviously some GT stuff coming up as well with GT vibes. So yes, there's aspects of this series that are borrowing from all the different Dragon Ball anime, even a little bit from Super. And I like that. If it's a 40th anniversary anime, why not borrow from things of the past 40 years, even things that Toriyama did not work on? And there are lots of things in Daima coming up in the future that are certainly inspired from GT, but there's also stuff from Z and original Dragon Ball. So this one really does feel like it's as pure as it gets for the fans. And I want to reiterate something